the home of the Berwick Bulldogs. This is W234BH Berwick at 94.7, WBWX W242CY Berwick at 96.3, W282CO Bloomsburg at 104.3, W288CF Danville at 105.5, and streaming online at thisispopradio.com. Pop Radio, a Seven Mountains Media radio station. Just 1 hour before kickoff, it's time for the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio. A conversation with Berwick Bulldogs' Mike Bennett and the voice of the Dogs, Jim Doyle. Let's go! Brought to you by Bob Subs, W&L Subaru, Nissan, Mazda, and Collision Center, First Columbia Bank and Trust, Flick Brothers Electric, Independence Ford, Preferred Portables, Mayo Funeral Home, Neighbor Fence Company, S.J. Kowalski, Reds Roofing, Nespoli Jewelers, ND Accounting, Mason Monogram, Eco First, Lehigh Valley Health Network, and Blaze Alexander Family Buick GMC of Bloomsburg.
Looking for their first win of the season, the Bulldogs take on Abington Heights tonight here at Crispin Field. The Comets are 1-1 and have been involved in two high-scoring, close games. A season-opening 31-28 loss to Dallas, and last Friday's 30-28 win over Wilkes-Barre area. We're talking tonight to the acting head coach of the Bulldogs, Bo Orlando. Mike Bennett missed last week's game with personal reasons, and he will be out for this one as well. Berwick fans know Bo well. He was the quarterback on that great 1983 unbeaten USA Today #1 team, then went on to a great career at West Virginia. In fact, he's a Hall of Famer there. And then 9 years in the NFL, but now acting head coach. So a new experience for you last Friday night. Before we talk about the game specifically, how was that experience?
Well, a lot more than I expected. I have a pretty tough job as AD. There's a lot of things to do to get ready before the game, but this was like a little twist. But this is my home. This is where it started for me, and I feel like I owe and to everyone's credit, my coaching staff. Bobby Croup stepped up as principal, came on a field. It helped. I mean, everybody helped. I mean, it was as painless as it could be. And, a lot of things go on that people don't know, as well as as coaching. And like I said, it was very, very busy. It was a last-minute decision. But now I'm going to continue until Mike comes back to be the head coach. But very much support from my coaching staff who really stepped up, which I'm real, real proud of them. Well,
last Friday's home opening 34-19 loss to Valley View. The Bulldogs' offense showed some signs of life after getting shut out by Southern Columbia the week before. Berwick scored 3 touchdowns against a good Valley View defense that held Crestwood to just 1 touchdown the week before. What was different this second week?
Well, our effort. I went in there and I told these guys, I said, we have a lot of guys that are young and a lot of guys that haven't had Friday night experience. And there's something different when you're playing Friday night under the lights and rather than playing a JV game or our 7th and 8th grade game. And we just have some guys we have to do a little bit of football IQ, as you and I call it, just making smart plays and smart decisions. And, I told them when we went out, I said, I understand the situation on there, but I've been around. I've been coaching here for the last 5 years. I've been a part. I know all these guys. And I said, I will tell you this. I said, I was, as far as a program, Southern was not us. I mean, we didn't have great effort making adjustments because it's on coaches. It's on the players. It's on both of us. But I said, I have a little thing in my stomach from that, and it just wasn't Berwick football. And I said, what we will not do is we will not quit ever. And I said, listen, you got a great football team coming here, and Valley View has a great program. They got a lot of players back. And I said, we will battle to the end. I said, it's going to be, when you play a good football team, it's all 3 phases. And I said, it's like a roller coaster. It's going to have some good times and some bad times. And I said, that adversity part is what we really got to stick our nose to the grindstones. And I came after the game and, you and I talked, there was some different situations, but our guys played hard to the end. And, for my first time being head coach or over that, I was real, real proud of them.
First touchdown of the season early in the second quarter. Ethan Lear to Billy Hansen, 41 yards. What made that play go?
Billy's a sharp receiver. Billy's a junior for us, a great basketball. He's probably one of our best athletes out there in the field. And, I talk to Billy, and I always tell him basketball is his first love. And I always tell him, Billy, you can be a hell of a football player. And he's just, I talked to him before, and I said, listen, you got to step up. I mean, I know you were a first year starter last year, and I said, but you have more ability than you think. And I said, it's in your head. And I said, you got to step up. There's we've lost the Spencers and we lost to Dre Wilkes. Somebody's got to start stepping up and making plays. So he made a good play.
You have a sophomore, Ty Wilkerson. I've heard all about the great speed that he has. I've been impressed in the early going with his hands. He really catches the football. He and Billy, that's a nice 1-2 punch at receiver.
Absolutely. I mean, Ty's, like I said, he's one of them, Friday night under the lights, little head in the deer light, and the eyes in the headlights. But Ty is very, very talented, and we got to get him the ball more. He's got to, the only way you do that is go through your lumps, and he's got to carry the ball. He's got to get some personal experiences that he does right and he does wrong, but he learns from his mistakes, and we just definitely got to get to him a little more.
Running game for the game, 33 carries, 84 yards. I guess you want more than that.
Absolutely. We have to open up. We have to do some things, run past that we talked about in here as coaches, and be a little more balanced, set things up, run things from the same sets, but run past. And kind of keep them on their toes, do a little motion to throw them off guard. But for the most part, our line was going to be our strength of our program. We got a pretty good line with some young guys coming back. And, we definitely got to run the ball better, that's for sure.
Up next, Bo will evaluate his team's defensive effort against Valley View. You're listening to the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio.
Hi, this is Cassidy from the Independence Ford Service Department, Route 11 in Bloomsburg. Does your Ford or Lincoln vehicle need service? Having trouble getting an appointment at your usual service center? At Independence Ford, we can and will take care of all your service needs. Regardless of where you purchase your Ford or Lincoln vehicle, our goal is to get you back on the road. Give me a call for an appointment today at 784-1414.
Come and get a great deal and total satisfaction.
Independence Ford, better people, better prices.
Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas of Berwick. The roofing experts for all of our listening area. With over 30 years experience and great rates, why go anywhere else when Red's Roofing will get the job done right for your roofing, decks, and siding, specializing in metal roofs, rubber roofs, and shingles. Most of the work is done in one day. Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas. Now located in Dushore and also serving Bradford and Sullivan counties with owner Harry Titus, a supporter of the Berwick football team and St. Jude Children's Hospital. Call 570-752-4351.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You're listening to the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio with the voice of the Berwick Bulldogs, Jim Doyle.
The Comets of Abington Heights, fresh off a 35-28 win over Wilkes-Barre area, are here at Crespin Field tonight to take on the Bulldogs. Last week when we talked to Mike Bennett, he said the biggest issue in the season opener defensively was tackling and missed tackles. Did that improve, Bo, against Valley View?
Well, it definitely improved. I think the thing that didn't improve that much, we got a lot better, but we had internal mistakes. We watched the film on Monday, and I told those guys, we're our biggest foe. We make a lot of mistakes, and we make a lot of teams, good players look like great players, and that's something we have to go. Everybody has a job in football. Everybody has a gap responsibility. Everybody has a fill, an alley player. And we weren't doing that. And we pointed out to those guys, and I said, you have to answer, not to the public, not to your parents, not to the coaches. I said, but you got to answer to your peers sitting right here. Is that good enough football? Like, we go over a lot of things. So trying to shorten everything up, some of the plays and stuff we have, and we just got to execute. We're just not executing.
Yeah, and stopping the run seems to be the biggest hurdle for the Bulldogs so far this season. Southern Columbia, 326 rushing yards. Valley View, 244. That's way too much, isn't it?
Absolutely, it's way too much. And if you go back, Jim, if we look, I mean, it's like, and I've said that for the last couple of years with us. If you go back, it's, one guy loses leverage, or one linebacker does a scrape in the right hole, or take him on with the right shoulder. There's an alley, and people have been gapping us over the guard tackle, and we're trying to hem things up there, and we pointed out on film, and like this isn't which shoulder you're supposed to take, and kind of ask your nose to kind of step up and take accountability. So once we get those up a little bit, we were creating a little bit too much alleys with our ends. We were going up the field too much instead of staying at the line and getting our hands on tight ends or tackles, and then just squeezing everything. We're just presenting too many alleys. And when you play good football teams, you first of all, you can't make mistakes. And second of all, you can't have penalties. And probably 2 games, I know this game here, we just had too many penalties.
Maybe the biggest special teams play for the Bulldogs last Friday was the block punt by Chase Shuckers. That led to a touchdown, got you very much in the game, down just 7 early in the third. Normally, you have a block punt. It's one of those speedsters coming from the end. You don't have the big guy up the middle. How'd that work?
We kind of had a punt safe on, and, like punt safe and those guys rush a little bit. And Chase just came through and made a great play. And he's one of our guys. He's only a junior, but, Chase played all last year. He was a good player for us. He's an even better player this year. And he just, he had a little knee trouble earlier this summer, but he's been playing well, and he's one of them guys that leave it on the field, and you can't argue with something like that. If anything, if you're going to lose, I want to leave it all on the field, and Chase is just a prime example of just making a great play.
On the negative side, the special teams, 2 blocked extra points. Is that on Luke Peters with low kicks, or is that a problem with blocking up front? Well,
we have a little new holder, and we'll have to, we take a look. I didn't take a look. Jason Lanning was our special teams guy. We haven't taken a look, so we'll get on there. It's a little bit of both, a little timing. We just got to get Luke's plays on our boys soccer team, and we've had the last couple of years, so he doesn't come down as often as we like because he's got games and practice. But that's something we'll get up there. Luke did very well for us last year. He's a veteran guy. He's a senior, and hopefully we get that cleaned up.
Well, later in the show, Bo will tell us about tonight's opponent, Abington Heights. But up next is the Bulldog Spotlight feature. You're listening to the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio.
Drive your new GMC home today. New vehicles have been hard to come by. So at Alexander Family Buick GMC, we've been telling you to reserve your new GMC truck or SUV. But with 25 new GMCs in stock now and 25 more to arrive soon, you don't have to reserve one. You can drive one home today. And with the highest trade values, the lowest rates, and the Blaze Alexander lowest price guaranteed, now is the time to drive one off our lot. Shop online, where we're always open. Alexander Family Buick GMC in Bloomsburg. Taking the deals the other guys won't.
Proud sponsor of Penn State Athletics.
Hi, this is Jonathan from Nespoli Jewelers in Berwick. We are happy to announce that once again we will have the Nespoli Jewelers Athlete of the Week throughout this football season. Each week, the Berwick coaches will choose an athlete who worked hard, was a good teammate, and put forth his best effort all week. We will announce this student athlete on this station prior to the Berwick football game, and we will be honoring him by donating $100 in his name to the charity of his choice. For more information on the chosen Nespoli Athlete of the Week, please visit us on our Instagram and Facebook pages.
The subs at Bob's Subs and Pizza in Berwick have so much meat in them, you'll be having leftovers for days. The Italian is piled high with fresh slices of ham, capicola, salami, and pepperoni on a freshly baked bun. Bob's cheesesteak oozes with cheesy goodness woven into a mountain of thinly sliced ribeye steak. So if you're tired of bland, unsatisfying subs, Bob's Subs and Pizza in Berwick is your new go-to. With over 22 different kinds of sumptuous, hearty subs, you'll find just the one or two to cure your cravings. And the pizza at Bob's Subs and Pizza, oh, it's so good. Bob's Subs and Pizza in Berwick. Taste the difference.
So, ticks are in season, and many carry diseases. They can be in fields and fairways, at picnics and parks, backyards and baseball fields. If you're spending time outdoors, always protect, check, and remove if you find one. For more information on how to keep you, your family, and your pets safe, visit health.pa.gov/ticks.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
You're listening to the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio with the voice of the Berwick Bulldogs, Jim Doyle.
The Bulldogs take on Abington Heights tonight here at Crispin Field. In our next segment, Bo will tell us about the Comets, but now it's time for our weekly feature, Bulldog Spotlight. Tonight, the spotlight is on junior wide receiver, defensive back, Billy Hansen. Billy's coming off a great effort catching the football last Friday's home opener against Valley View. We talked about that 41-yard touchdown pass early in the second quarter. For the game, 6 catches, 93 yards altogether. But what makes him a good wide receiver?
You know, Billy's just an athlete. You know, you talk about high school kids, and, you know, some may be a better wide receiver, running back, or whatever, but Billy's an all-around. Billy had a hell of a game on defense. I mean, there was a couple times he came down the lane from the free safety spot in the alley and made some great tackles, and that's what he's capable of, you know, and he's feeling his way, but, you know, I talked to Billy and I said, listen, you know, this is a game where people have to step up. Like it's a lot of it's played, and I'm as I'm talking to you, Jim, is pointing to your heart. You know, like you either want to tackle or you don't. You know what I mean? And you don't have to tackle. I tell my DBs, you know, they had a big fullback that busted. I said, I wouldn't tackle him high. I'm not asking you to go up and tackle a guy high. You know, you get around them knees and collapse his knees and squeeze like you know what. I mean, that's the tackling. It's the gator tackle or whatever. We're not looking to kill anybody. You know, but Billy just came up real big for us. I mean, he could be that player. Like we've lost it, you know, Spencer Kishball and Dre Welk are big play guys, and Billy can be that one play. And we've told him that. But sometimes I think it takes a little bit to sink in to do it on Friday, and maybe having that game knowing, you know, that he can do it will give him a little boost.
We talked earlier about his basketball prowess, a starter on varsity as a sophomore. What's the carryover, that sport, to this one?
Well, you know, basketball playing defense, I was a better defensive player than an offensive player because it's very similar to defensive back. You know what I mean? You know, going up for rebounds, grabbing one hand. I mean, Billy's just got Billy works like no other. Billy's always, you know, always the last one out of here in a weight room or, you know, doing some stuff, doing some skill. I mean, he works hard. Same thing with basketball. I have to kick him out after the basketball games at, you know, 9:30 at night because I want to go home, and he's in there and wants to shoot baskets after his game. So I love that about Billy. And, you know, I just got to get him to go, and that there's other sports other than basketball, and I've been trying to convince him that, you know, this could be a career for him. He's a very, very talented kid. He's only a junior.
What are his abilities as a defensive back?
He's Billy's very, very smart. He's a smart player. He's got great range, and he's just got a nose for the ball. I mean, like sometimes you just, you know, there's things that you could teach. Anybody, a linebacker, defensive lineman, defensive back, and then there's things that are just natural. And Billy's got some natural instincts that you just don't teach it, that nose of the ball thing.
In the Bulldogs spotlight tonight, 5'11", 168-pound junior Billy Hansen. Tonight, Billy and his Bulldog teammates will take on Abington Heights here at Crispin Field. Up next, Bo will evaluate the Comets' offense. You're listening to the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio.
Jim Doyle and the Berwick Bulldogs Coach Mike Bennett Show. Brought to you by Bob Subs, W&L Subaru, Nissan, Mazda, and Collision Center, First Columbia Bank and Trust, Wood Brothers Electric, Independence Ford, Preferred Portables, Mayo Funeral Home, Neighbor Fence Company, S.J. Kowalski, Reds Roofing, Nespoli Jewelers, ND Accounting, Mason Monogram, Eco First, Lehigh Valley Health Network, and Blaze Alexander Family Buick GMC of Bloomsburg. The Coach Bennett Show, only right here on Pop Radio.
Experience a drive that makes you feel more connected than ever before at a price you can afford at W&L Mazda.
Discover the luxury Mazda vehicles without the high price tags. Whether you're looking for technology and fuel efficiency for long commutes or the extra space for weekend getaways, head to W&L Mazda today for a test drive.
The W&L Mazda team will take the time to understand your drive and will match you with a perfect Mazda to accompany you on the way to success. We're off Route 11 in Northumberland, or visit us the last week of September at the Bloomsburg Fair, just off C Ave. Find us online at WNLMazda.com.
The Mayo Funeral Homes, located at 110 Chestnut Street in Berwick and 77 Main Street in Chickashinny, are proud sponsors of Berwick Bulldog football. The Mayo Funeral Homes, serving all faiths, makes it easier for those you love with pre-arranged funeral counseling, insurance, and pre-financed funerals. Mayo Funeral Homes also offers expert guidance in both traditional and cremation services. Mayo Funeral Homes. Perfection in every detail.
Save today on a great selection of the best appliance brands and discover top-notch service at Flick Brothers Electric in Bloomsburg. Browse their showroom, which features appliances in a variety of different kitchen configurations and offers appliances and water heaters for every budget. Flick Brothers showcases top names like GE and GE Monogram, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, KitchenAid, Maytag, Sharp, Amana, and built in the USA Speed Queen and Viking appliances. Flick Brothers Electric, Maple Lane, Bloomsburg for over 65 years. Call 570-784-3444.
Looking for convenient and reliable dumpster rentals for your residential or commercial project? EcoFirst Logistics has you covered with dumpster rentals from Bloomsburg to Hazleton and surrounding areas. Their dumpster rental service is designed to make waste disposal easy, hassle-free, and eco-friendly. Whether you're planning a construction or renovation project, junk removal, or a major cleanup, they carry a range of dumpster sizes to fit your needs and ensure that what can be saved is sorted out. On the web at eco-firstlogistics.com or on Facebook.
You're listening to the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio with the voice of the Berwick Bulldogs, Jim Doyle.
Abington Heights is here at Crespin Field tonight to take on the Bulldogs. Last year, the Dogs beat the Comets 49-0 at the place they call the Pit in Clark Summit. Tonight's game figures to be a lot tougher. Abington Heights appears to be much improved, especially on offense. They've averaged over 31 points a game through their first two. Bo, how would you describe their offense? How do they set up? What do they run?
Oh, they're pretty big up front. They like to run the ball, but they've been running the ball pretty successful. But they got a big 6'4" receiver. That's the key. Their quarterback is a little bit more. He was the same quarterback, but he's a little bit more movable this year. I think somebody said he's got a scholarship to go play baseball at Auburn, University of Auburn. So he's a big time baseball player. And I've talked to other ADs that have played him and said he's been slinging the ball around. So there's a little bit of difference. I probably like the same thing. They probably got a little conference, a little older team. On last year's, I think, we were talking earlier, that was the most perfect game we played. Everything went right for us. Every little bounce, every little blitz, every little thing. We were on point better than any game that we played last year. So I expect a lot tougher game this year. They beat, other than Wilkes-Barre having two of their main players transfer out this year and go into a prep school, they were probably going to be the team to beat Wilkes-Barre. They're very, very big. So beating Wilkes-Barre and hanging with Dallas till the end. Dallas is a very, very good football team. So we're not taking them lightly. I know that much.
The quarterback you referred to is just a sophomore. He's 6 foot, 200 pounds. Nick Bradley through two games, some nice passing numbers, 373 yards, 5 touchdowns. He's also their leading rusher. Are those set plays or scrambles?
A lot of them are off of scrambles. They're like a drop back guy, but that's the positive of having an athlete and a movable guy at quarterback. Then now you figure in for another runner when you're dropping back in pass and everybody dropping everybody deep and taking them right back off. So that's another threat. Like I said, he wasn't doing that as much last year. They didn't run the quarterback as much last year, but that's a big threat that we're also going to have to handle.
You don't face too many 6'4" wide receivers. Mason Sedor is that. He's a terrific basketball player. He had 49 catches a year ago. He already has 9, 3 of them for touchdowns. What do you tell your defensive backs? All of your defensive backs are going to be giving up size to this 6'4" wide receiver. So what's the advice?
Get your hands on him. Get your hands. Don't let the guy run free. When you let somebody run free at 6'4" and a good athlete, it's going to be a long day for you. You just got to get your hands, be physical with them. We have some corners that can run to be right there with him, but get physical, get your hands and get him out of his routine. We were always taught when you're running with receivers, when you're hand in hand, kind of bang their hands, kind of little tricks you can do to kind of take them off a course and have to do with that. Otherwise, he runs some great routes and it's a big target. That's a real big target. So it's going to be a little tough.
And I guess you still, based on your struggles through the first 2 weeks, want to stop the run, even though you're facing a team that's going to throw the ball more than the previous two.
Right. Well, it's like anything here. They're more of a dual threat this year. You know what I mean? And like I said, everybody wants to stop the run. That's one of our main priorities. But once you stop the run, then you got to deal with a great quarterback, a very movable quarterback, and then you got a 6'4" receiver, and they've got some other receivers that are very good too, and tight ends. So we've got our work cut out for us this week for sure.
Up next next, Bo will tell us about Abington Heights defense. You're listening to the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio.
Danville Head Start Pre-K is a high-quality, free preschool program for children 3 to 4 years old. We are conveniently located at the Danville Area Primary School, and classes are held Monday through Friday. A free, nutritious breakfast and lunch are provided. A family of 4 can now make up to $90,000 and still qualify for the Pre-K Counts program. We are enrolling preschool-age children for the fall right now. For more information, go to danvilleheadstart.com.
As a community bank, First Columbia Bank and Trust knows the value of helping our young people dream, excel, and reach their goals. For more than 120 years, First Columbia has been committed to helping our communities prosper and our youth succeed. We're proud to invest in our youth through athletics, the arts, and education. First Columbia Bank and Trust, with you and your children every step of the way.
Every step of the way, First Columbia Bank.
Lehigh Valley Topper Cancer Institute brings the next level of cancer care to the greater Hazleton region. The new Cancer Center on the campus of Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton offers a state-of-the-art radiation therapy program, an expanded infusion suite with private treatment rooms, access to many cancer care experts, and the latest telemedicine capabilities, all at one convenient location. Visit lvhn.org/Hazleton Cancer Center to learn more.
Mason's Monogramming has the largest selection of Bulldog items in Berwick. Family owned with more than 30 years experience and new Bulldog wear for every age, including masks, tees, polos, sweater shirts, jackets, and hats. They even have brand new indestructible silicone cups, koozies, car coasters, decals, and more. Shop at masonsmonogram.com for their new items and select in-person pickup or shipping right to you. Follow their Instagram at Mason's Monogram for their latest new items. Mason's Monogram service in Berwick. Let them personalize for you.
You're listening to the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio with the voice of the Berwick Bulldogs, Jim Doyle.
Tonight marks the 8th meeting between Abington Heights and Berwick. 3 of the 7 previous were district finals, the last in 2013. 35-28 Bulldogs victory for head coach George Curry. But last year, Abington Heights showed a base defense of 4-3. You looking for the same thing?
Basically the same thing. They run a little cover 2, a little 3. They'll put 8 in the box, like anybody else. Like depending on if they stop us in certain defenses, they'll stay in it. Same thing we do. We'll run up a guy in a box and when we can. But we just don't want to be predicated on when we get in these couple sets that we run. We need to run different plays from the same set. We need to motion a little bit, kind of throw them off guard. Like once teams just sit there and play you at a stock, no movement. You get predictable, and we just don't want to be predictable. We want to kind of move around and get our athletes in space.
How aggressive are they? Do you expect them to come after you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like I said, it just seems like they're a total. I mean, like I said, we did everything so right, and everything went so right in that game last year. And then we've been talking to our guys like that's not the same football team that's coming down there. It's a very, very good football team. So they're aggressive. They come across the ball. They got some really good athletes. And like I said, it's gonna be a different ball game.
Well, Abington Heights has played 2 pretty good teams in Dallas and Wilkes-Barre area, but their defense has not been that good. They're giving up almost 30 points a game. What do you have to do offensively to exploit them?
Well, obviously you got to run the ball. I thought our, coming into this season with our inexperience, our line was going to be the strength of this team, and we've been okay so far. But like I said, we've been a little predictable, and we just got to open up a little more. But we have to run. We got to run the football, and like I said, when they're in a, it's not rocket science, but when they're playing a 2 deep and 7 in the box, you got to run the ball on them. And if they're gonna bring a guy down the box, we're gonna have to throw the ball. So we just getting back to same thing offensively. We're not rubbing off. We're not stepping on this guy or maybe missing one guy, putting our head on the wrong side. So, it's a lot of us that we have to get our techniques and procedures down.
Hey, best of luck, and thanks. You're taking to this head coaching thing.
Well, not by choice. I just feel like I have to. It's like, like I said, I've coached defensive backs in high school for, over 20 years, and I've been around. But I don't wish to be, I'm doing this because I feel I need to now. You know what I mean? I mean, this is Burr football is very, 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 big for me. I mean, it was where I got my start and everything, and I just feel like I owe it. But in the future, I do not want to be a head coach.
We'll listen again next Friday for another edition of the Coach Bennett Show prior to the Bulldogs game at Williamsport. Stay tuned now for Abington Heights at Berwick football here on Pop Radio.
You've been listening to the Coach Bennett Show.